Hi and hello, and thank you so much for tuning in. And if you are new, welcome to my channel. My name is Preeti Rao and I am both a real estate and a mortgage broker for close to 20 years. In today's video, I'm going to talk about how the N12 notice to end your tenancy basically works, how it affects you as either the landlord or the tenant, and some not so well known facts about the N12 form. But first, you know the drill. Make sure to hit like, share, subscribe, and that bell icon. It gets me motivated to keep you up to date with everything real estate. So what is an N12? It is basically a notice to end your tenancy because the landlord or the purchaser or their family member, one of them is going to be moving into the apartment. It is a form used to evict a tenant for the purpose to use the property by the owner or their family member. Now, if you are a tenant and you're served this notice, it can come as quite a shock to you because this is one of the few legal ways where you can evict in the province of Ontario. And the only compensation that you are technically allowed to receive is 1 month's rent. And if this is done in good faith, meaning the person serving you the notice or one of their family members is actually going to be moving in, technically there's nothing you can do to stop it. You can hire a lawyer at the end of the day and sort of fight it in the landlord tenancy board, but it is their legal right to get access to this unit for their personal use. However, if you have doubts that they are actually not going to be moving in, you can contest the N12. Of course, you have to show up at the tribunal. The landlord or whoever is going to be moving into the property has to show up as well, or maybe their legal representative, and they'll need to prove that they are going to be moving into that unit. And this typically comes in a form of an assigned affidavit. And you know what? If they can prove their case, then you will be forced to move out. Usually it gives you a little bit more time to find the next place, so it can work out a little bit in your favor. Now, there are obviously situations where this N12 is abused, where the landlord serves this notice without any intention of actually moving in. This comes with some severe repercussions. So if you are the landlord, I would personally not recommend for you to do this. The fine as a landlord who serves this in bad faith is up to $25,000. And if you are someone that owns a property in a corporation, that fee can be as high as $100,000. So it is definitely something that you want to be very careful about. And if you are a tenant and you're experiencing this quite a few times, then I would recommend looking for a building that has 6 or more units that are typically professionally managed. Those types of properties, it's very rare that the owner is going to choose to move in. Now, if you are a landlord or the buyer of a property that has a tenant in it, it is your legal right to get the vacant possession. But like I mentioned, be prepared that if you choose to go down the N12 route, it may take longer than 60 days. And that's in the notice itself. Because if they contest it, you will have to wait until there's a landlord tenancy board hearing, and that can take 3 months, 6 months, even up to 8 months. All depends on how backlogged the tribunal is. And even after that, you have to wait for them to provide a judgment before you can go into the eviction process. So I would recommend, if you are buying a tenanted property, make sure wherever you are staying currently, you have the ability to continue to stay a little bit longer, and that you can continue to have the place to stay if things do not go as smoothly as you expect. Now, if you are involved in a real estate transaction between 1 to 3 units, like a single family home or a duplex or even a triplex, and the purchaser is asking for vacant possession of 1 or more of the units, you can serve the N12 notice on their behalf. But it is very important that you get it in writing in an affidavit that they or their family members are actually going to be moving into the property. The reason for this is that if it's simply in the agreement of purchase and sale that they will be moving moving in and the buyers don't end up doing that, and for your bad luck, if that goes to court, you will be legally liable because you served the notice on their behalf, and it is your duty to verify that the purchaser is indeed moving in. So you want to have something in writing, an affidavit of some kind signed by the purchaser that says they're going to be moving into the property, or their family member is going to be moving into that property. Now, this is very, very important. The dates on the N12 notice of termination, again, very, very important. The way it's worded is that you have to give 60 days notice to the tenant from the end of the rental period. So for example, if the tenant typically pays on the 1st of the month and you serve this notice on the 2nd of the month, you can't just count 60 days from that day that you serve the notice, but rather you will have to wait till the end of the month and count the 60 days starting from the end of the month. So this can sometimes be as long as 90 days if you serve the notice right at the beginning of the month. So you want to be very careful with those dates. And if you screw up the dates on this form and it goes to the Landlord Tenancy Board, they are just going to throw it out. So be very accurate in terms of the date that you put as your termination date. Now, I'm personally not a fan of using the N12. What I prefer instead is a cash for keys. So cash for keys is a simple agreement between the landlord and the tenant, and you would offer some kind of compensation to the tenant in exchange for the vacant possession of the property. This way, they have some money to cover the hassles of moving and potentially to cover the difference in rent between what they're paying now and their future place. And it's a mutual agreement. You will have much more certainty that by the end of the date that they have to actually move, they will indeed move out, because it's something that they've agreed to versus something you're trying to force on them. Especially if you are an investor trying to sell a rental property, offer your tenants some kind of cash for keys to provide vacant possession, so that when you go to sell the actual property, you're in a position to stage it, to paint it, and you will then land up getting the full market value for your own property. So if you have any questions or want clarifications, please don't hesitate to call me. If you still don't know who I am, just go check my rating on Google and read all my client reviews. Till then, you take care, and if you found value or liked this video and would like to see more content, click on the boxes on the screen. Once again, my name is Preeti Rao. My contact information is in the description box below. Make sure to hit like, share, subscribe, and the bell icon so you don't miss any future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to call me, because I hold the key that opens the door to your dream home.